Hey guys, welcome back to the Survivor series. Right now, Paralyze being a real hero for Protoss, getting a bunch of wins so far. He's taken down True, he's taken down Ample, he's taken down HM. And now he's up against the last Terran hope. It is none other than Leta. So, I mean, just taking a quick prediction towards this, here's the thing. Leta is the most experienced of the Terran players for sure. Historically, I would have said he had weaker Terran versus Protoss, actually, than the other three Terran players, but I know that recently, Leta has received a lot of coaching from Light and has really been working on his Terran versus Protoss, and it's improved a lot. So, I don't know. This could go either way. I think Leta has become a much more solid player recently. So, excited to see what he's going to try to pull out here. Paralyze, of course, if he wins this, Team Protoss just has 2 Zergs to beat and they win the entire thing. We'll see if he is able to do that. But anyways, before we get too far in, I want to thank everyone for your support here on ArtosisCasts. I hope that you're enjoying the variety of games, the variety of tournaments that I'm doing at the moment, just kind of jumping around since I have a bunch of awesome stuff right now, and I just kind of want to do all of it. So, hope that you're enjoying, and thank you for subscribing, and a big thanks to everyone who has supported on Patreon so far. That's patreon.com/Artosis if you would like to support. Thank you very much, everybody. So, as far as this goes, it's very standard openers so far. No scouting yet on either side. There goes Leta. The map is Vermeer. This is the best map that we have right now in the pool. I think everybody agrees on that. And it's the only map where 3 pros were, like, basically recruited to give input for all the matchups, right? It was like Rush and Hero and... gosh, I can't remember. Maybe it was like Best or something. I don't know why I can't remember off the top of my head. But basically one of each of the best of their races. And really it's given us an awesome, awesome map. Like, I honestly think it's even better than Polypoid. It's like, it's a great map. It gives fantastic games all the time. Now, Leta finds Paralyze first here. That's very, very nice because he gets to see if a Zealot's being made. He knows that a Zealot is not likely to be being made since the Cybernetic score is already done and it hasn't been popped out. That wouldn't make sense. So that makes it so that it's like, okay, just make sure that you have, 3 Marines by 3 minutes and 40 seconds, right? That's going to hold. Or you could just go bunker. It's like there are a lot of options here as to what you can do. Like, some people like to go bunker and 2 Marines as opposed to 3 Marines. It looks like that's what he's going to do. He won't make the 3rd Marine here. You just don't need it. Like, without the bunker, 3 Marines beat a Dragoon. So that's kind of like, you're just doing some light math on this. 1 Marine in a bunker just doesn't do anything. So you don't ever just go 1. Like, I mean, there's certainly situations where it's occurred, but it's not what you're going for. And he actually goes for the Vulture as well. Since his SEU was chased down by the Dragoon, that does give him time to get that Vulture out before the Dragoon gets to his bunker. Now, the Vulture going to rotate around a little bit, do a bit of scouting. Probably just check if there's a Nexus on the way, since he did lose that SCV. And then probably go hide for a little bit while he gets mines. That's generally how that goes. Dragoon runs up, gets the scout, sees the command center, so he now has some good info. And, of course, the Vulture runs up, gets a scout, sees a Nexus, that's good info. Robo coming up for Paralyze right away. Now, where does Leta want to bring this? I'm very excited to see. Is it going to be a starport? He's very much a starport guy. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Okay, very cool. Now, like I mentioned, he is a starport guy. This is a funny distinction amongst Terran players. There's people that like starports and there are people that do not. Obviously everyone needs to be able to use both styles, but some people lean in certain directions. Starports give maybe slightly higher volatility to matches. Because, like, if you get a good Vulture drop-off, man, you do a lot of damage. But it can weaken you in certain areas. Like, your factories come up a little bit later. You're going to be lighter on supply, lighter on siege tanks. You have to commit at least 3 Vultures to the drop. for it to really make sense, and it's almost always 4 vultures, and you generally want to have vulture speed as well, so, you know, that slows things again. But it's certainly a build that is doable. You see he's leaving a single vulture here. This one's just chilling, getting ready to maybe get into that dropship. Looks like he will send it out here to lay some mines, though. Like, mines are finishing, so... I thought he was actually going to leave it there and just pick it up on the way. But, yeah, it's better to lay the mines. And you want to lay the mines to see where goons are and are not, so you know where you can fly. And also, you know, it tells you if the goons are trying to come and attack you. But this is a good spread from Paralyze. Look, he's got one here blocking this base, one blocking the path towards his main, and one blocking the path towards this third. So a very, very good spread. He's even got the backup Dragoon. If anything really tries to run past, he backs this one up, blocks more. Maybe he can get a probe up, put a building down, and make a full wall. So defensively, this is amazing for Paralyze so far. But the dropship's coming, and the dropship wants the Dragoons out there. So the 3 vultures going to back up. Here comes the dropship. I'm very excited to see where he wants to go with this. There is an observer coming out. The observer will very... Yeah, okay, he actually already has one clearing mines, but this observer will very likely... Oh, he's actually sending it to the south. I thought he was going to send it this way to scout the Terran base while this one clears. But he might send this one to scout and then use the other one for the rest of the clearing. Either way, we have a dropship with 4 vultures. We have another vulture laying mines up at this additional base. And the Nexus is not warped in, so it's not going to have vision of the left side here. Dragoons blocking the front and 2 in the main in case of drop. Here we go. Let's see how much he gets. 1 vulture in the natural. Oh, looks like this one's not being microed well. Doesn't get any probes. Drops 2 in the main. Now, let's see how many he can target down. Not the best micro so far, to be honest. Gets 2 probes. 3. Okay, so he loses the 4 vultures, or 3 of them, and then 1 is sitting here waiting for probes to come in. That's a very sneaky, cool move. But he actually brings the worker count very close to even. So I can't say anything, like, too negative about it. He also gets a lot of scouting done. So, like, for instance, he knows that Reaver is on the way. Now, this has allowed him to build a Wraith. Obviously, you see that some comm stats are coming up very, very quickly here. Oh, that's a nice greedy build from him. Look, he's already got his armory going into 3 factory. He's got 3 tanks. He's got a Wraith for anti-Reaver, and he's got the comm stats. So he can utilize those, you know, for doing things like killing off observers. Now, I didn't actually catch how many probes that one got at the 3rd base, but it could have been good. Didn't get too many. Now, eBay coming up, going up to 5 factories as well. This is to kind of fill in those units that were missing. And this is 5 factories at 8:15? Or, I mean, they're going to be finished before 9 minutes. That's pretty awesome, honestly. This is, like, very, very nice from Leta. You know, you want to make sure you have your 5 factories by, you know, 10 minutes, basically. So to get them this much earlier, it started by 10 minutes, just to make that clear. That's awesome. He's going to field a very big army very quickly. Look at this. The Wraith's getting on top of this shuttle, and he's going to get it. You saw the Reaver start to unload, but doesn't quite make it out. Oh, man. It wasn't fully unloaded when the shuttle died, so he actually ends up losing it. You see stuff like that occasionally, like when you cancel a unit right as it's finishing. Scans, gets an observer. He's loaded up another dropship. 1 tank, 1 vulture in there. Leta is playing amazingly. He is really putting out a very high-quality game right now. He's going to get his 2-1 going as well. All right, here comes this drop. There is a photon cannon, so that's a little bit annoying. Going to drop his tank here. Oh, I like that siege location. Definitely going to be a little bit annoying to deal with. And, you know, as the Reaver comes up, obviously he's going to end up losing that siege tank. Or maybe he can pick it up in time. Some heavy, heavy micro over there, but keeping his macro up at home as well. No 3rd command center yet. You do want to start your 3rd around now. You definitely want to have a 3rd base up and mining by 12 minutes to be able to keep up with, you know, the general pace of a Terran versus Protoss. Nice pick off there with the vultures. Just rotating them around. He's keeping Paralyze like really, really busy right now. Paralyze definitely on the back foot this game. This is honestly one of the better TVPs I've ever seen Leta play. I'm not kidding. Like, I've watched this guy since, I don't know, 2006 or whenever he became a pro gamer. And this is, like, really, really solid. It's, like, got his own style elements of, like, the dropship, the Wraith, you know. It's got all these elements of his play in it, but then he's backing it up with, like, just a rock-solid build order, great upgrades. He's actually going to 7 factory instead of a 3rd CC. So, this looks like it's going to be a very strange, like, almost hybrid build. It looks like he's going to go for a 2-base timing attack with 2-1. That's not something that's very popular these days. Once upon a time it was, but we haven't really seen it utilized at the pro level in a very long time. He might be doing this just based off of what he's been scouting and everything, saying, you know what, this is, like, I'm going to be able to hit him before he's got Psystorm, something like that. So yeah, I'm interested to see how this goes for Leta. Keeping up with his supply and everything as well. Very healthy siege tank count. Yeah, look at that. He's got 11 siege tanks here. Getting his Goliath range as well. Very, very important. The Wraiths are not really usable very much during one of these bigger pushes. They die so quickly. And take too much micro to really handle. So it's good to switch over into Goliaths as your anti-air at that point. Paralyze taking this bottom left main as his 4th base. His Reavers helping to defend against this light dropship harassment. All right, Vultures trying to run out and get a little bit of intel. Now, this is something that's very dangerous. If you start spending a bunch of Vultures when you're trying to hit a 7 factory 2-base timing push, things can go very, very wrong for you. Because you don't really like, the push has to do something, so you really need to retain your units. Now, the drop actually comes back, lays a couple of mines there to slow down incoming Dragoons or anything like that. Picks off the Photon Cannon. Doesn't really get that big volley, though, unfortunately. A little bit of a unit rotation here for Paralyze. He actually doesn't have a ton of vision in this area. He's going to find out that actually Leta's still on 2 bases, which means that Paralyze is okay in this game. You can tell he's quite a bit higher in the supply. His probe count is actually probably a little bit too high at 73. But he just needs to hold this push. Now, that could be a little bit difficult since 2-1 is just about to finish. Some really great upgrades. No Psystorm yet. Psystorm is on the way, but is not done yet. Ooh, a counter drop goes in. So this is a huge percentage of the army of Paralyze. He is looking to screw up the rallies, maybe deal some damage, maybe force Leta to turn some units around. And he's actually getting some sick damage, but Leta, with the counterattack, he decides he's not going to go home, which is definitely the right choice in this situation. But the Reaver's going to get a lot of damage in here. There's a ton of Zealots to deal with as well. Luckily, still has some Marines here to help out against those Zealots. The Reavers go down, and then Vultures coming out should be able to clear everything else. Now, Paralyze, he has a force out here. Too many siege tanks here, though. Some missile turrets being put down. No real Vultures to speak of, right? So the speed lots are going to be key in clearing this out. Ooh, the Dragoons come up, and he loses like 6 of them for free. Doesn't do anything with that. Not sure what that was all about. I feel like this should have been a flanking force when he decides to come down the ramp with all the Zealots. So I think definitely a bit of a misplay there. Additional base coming up. Now starting to rally out. Okay, blocking the reinforcements, always a good move against an entrenched push. Looks like the natural expansion going to be picked off very likely. Ooh, that dropship gets absolutely massacred. Some buildings being built in the way, so the Zealots having some pathing issues getting to these units. Leta doing a great job taking this fight. In fact, going to end up killing off this Nexus as well, as reinforcements are going to come up and help save whatever remains of his initial push. And you know what? I think Leta has basically done it at this point. An absolutely stellar game out of Leta. A bit all in. Never got a 3rd base. We're at like 15 minutes now. But honestly, he set this up, and he's executed it really, really well. So, I mean, you can't fault him for that. Paralyze is trying to do something here to come back. Like, he has these bottom two nexuses, so I kind of get it. Right, he still has good production, but he doesn't really have a good way to transport his units around. Right, if there's a containment here, you're not going to do much. I guess he actually pulls away from the containment, so Paralyze is going to be allowed out of his base. Leta instead going to attack the bottom. Now, I think the only chance that remains here for Paralyze, you have to mass up what you can, come down, flank this, and kill this army. But I don't know if that's actually doable. It's just such a big, scary army at this point. He's even going to have a defense matrix by the time he's ready. You see, Paralyze does start to make his way down there, but not enough units up the ramp. Maybe if he had a big, big group here of Speed Zealot plus Dragoon that comes and flanks with the other half. But that's not going to be the case. He's going to move up the ramp. Only 2 Dragoons to try to stop it. And it looks like Terran finally going to pick up a win in the Survivor Series. The big question is, can Leta continue forward? Right? Like, he's got a lot of matches to win if Terran's going to take this one down. All right, here comes that flank we were talking about, but again, not enough units on the high ground. You're not going to be able to break up here well enough, unfortunately. Going to drop his Reaver on the tanks, most likely. No? I guess not. But that should realistically be that. Like, if you don't have this base anymore, you truly don't have anything. I guess the fact that Leta's almost out of minerals, maybe he's thinking like, ooh, if I can kill this base, then maybe this is still a game. But we can see that there's enough minerals here that not likely. Plenty of units as well defending right now. And yeah. Both sides actually getting pretty poor for a moment there. But Leta, yeah, he's definitely done it. There's nothing left here. Trying to get that Nexus up. Paralyzed, moving forward with what he has left. This is certainly his last attack. His last attempt here to break that third base location and maybe make a game out of it still. He definitely beat a lot of good players on the way, but again, excellent game here from Leta. GG.